heart of a lush rainforest, a silent story of survival and suffering unfolds. Imagine a majestic gorilla, a creature of strength and serenity, now caught in a horrific battle. As the camera slowly zooms in, we reveal a ghastly sight: an enormous beehive, grotesquely embedded in the soft flesh of its shoulder. A gruesome juxtaposition of beauty and agony, this once mighty animal now finds itself hosting a swarm of buzzing assailants. The gorilla's deep, soulful eyes tell a tale of pain, but they also speak of resilience, as if daring us to look away. Nature can be a merciless arena, and this is a brutal testament to its harsh realities. The scene is both revolting and captivating, drawing us into a world where the line between victim and predator blurs. Bees, often viewed as harmless pollinators, take on a chilling role in this story. The honeybees have invaded the gorilla's body, a parasitic infestation that is as fascinating as it is repulsive. As we look closer, we can see the bees, a hive of activity, their tiny bodies rippling, gorging on the gorilla's flesh. Honeybees, normally known for their sweet nectar, have become agents of decay. Where they once served nature by pollinating flowers, they now perpetrate an invasion that turns the gorilla into a grotesque hive itself. As we delve deeper into the biology of this horrific incident, we learn that such infestations occur more often than one might think, primarily in areas where animal habitats overlap with bee colonies. The gorilla, vulnerable and weak, has unwittingly wandered too close to the hive, drawn in by the promise of food or water. An ordinary error transforms into a maelstrom of suffering as the bees, compelled by instinct, defend their territory with viciousness. They sense a threat, and the gorilla becomes the antagonist in their world, an enormous being towering over their humble hive, yet dangerously oblivious to the danger that lurks beneath its fur. The wounds left behind by the swarming bees are grotesque. Each sting causes acute pain, releasing venom that leads to inflammation and infection. The gorilla's once wealthy body, cherished with thick fur and muscle, is marred by these angry, inflamed welts that ooze and swell. The buzzing sound fills the air, an ominous reminder of the hostile takeover that unfolds each passing minute. The gorilla's natural defenses weaken, and the buzzing hive becomes a malignant part of its being. This distressing synergy of host and parasite seems almost like a dark allegory of existence, the instinct for survival pushing boundaries, creating a sinuous dance of pain and persistence. Yet, this narrative does not simply examine the trauma inflicted upon the gorilla. It shines a spotlight on the broader interplay between nature and human intervention. We often overlook the ways in which our encroachment into the natural world disrupts the delicate balance that governs ecosystems. Deforestation, urbanization, and relentless farming practices have created a patchwork of fragmented habitats. Animals find themselves struggling for space, leading to encounters that can become deadly. The gorilla's encounter with the bees is stark in its reminder of the fragility of nature, a world where boundaries are not fixed and dominance is fleeting. Through this tale of despair, we can draw moral conclusions. The story of the gorilla reminds us that nature, while often viewed through a lens of beauty, carries with it survival mechanisms that can be ruthlessly cruel. In our quest for progress, we sometimes forget the underlying consequences of our actions. We can feel moments of pity for the struggling gorilla, entangled in a nightmare not entirely of its making. However, through the laughter of bees, nature finds its balance. They thrive in exploitation, undeterred by their host's suffering. Nature can be both comical and tragic, and perhaps therein lies the truth: we are all mere players in a farcical drama of survival, crying tears. In the shadowy underbelly of the African savanna, a harrowing sight emerges from the long grass. Picture this: a leopard, known for its sleek, powerful form and unmatched agility, now carries the evidence of a dire encounter. Its once admirable coat is riddled with puncture wounds, a grotesque patchwork of pink and crimson, the aftermath of an assault not from the jaws of another predator, but from a swarm of unforgiving bees. This isn't just any injury, it's a horrific beehive wound, a testament to nature's unforgiving laws, where beauty and brutality coexist in an unsettling dance. As your gaze fixates on the leopard's suffering, a shiver runs down your spine. The air, thick with tension, hints at an untold story, one that speaks to the intricate, often gruesome balance between species, and the inevitable footprints humans leave upon the natural world. The sight of the leopard, panting heavily under the weight of its distress, is both captivating and disconcerting. Its once grand stature is now diminished, as it attempts to shake off the onslaught of furious stings that have laid siege to its skin. Within the open wounds, a colony of bees has made its desperate living, burrowing into the flesh, and using the leopard's body as an extension of their hive. These bees, driven by their instinctive need to survive and replicate, have transformed the majestic creature into an unwilling host. Each sting, like a tiny dagger, introduces venom into the bloodstream, not just a physical assault, but a psychological one. For each pulse of pain tells the story of nature's unrelenting tenacity. Beyond the surface terror, the biology of the situation reveals a deeper horror. Bees are not just random marauders. They are complex beings with intricate social structures and dark motivations. In their quest for refuge and nourishment, they have taken to inhabiting this once proud predator. There's a certain irony to the situation. The very creature that rules the savannah now finds itself a victim of nature's harsher, often grotesque realities. Bees thrive on fear, converting their relentless drive into survival tactics that can devastate larger animals. The leopard, a creature designed for carnage, now lies in a state of turmoil, stripped of its ferocity by a swarm that has found an unlikely fortress in the fabric of its flesh. But the narrative unfolds further, becoming an unsettling reflection of a broader ecological truth. As we delve deeper, the gnawing question arises: how did this once mighty predator find itself ensnared in such a bewildering predicament? The answer lies not merely in an unfortunate excursion into a hidden hive, but rather in the chaotic intersection of human encroachment and ecological imbalance. In recent years, habitats have been fractured and food sources diminished, forcing wildlife to explore areas once untouched by their kind. The encroachment of farmland and cities disrupts the natural order, and in the quest for honey, both bees and leopards have had to adapt or perish. The dance of bees, once a harmonious flutter of pollination, becomes a descent into violent chaos for the leopard. As the bees swarm and sting, they are unwittingly caught in an escalating drama of survival, where the line between predator and prey blurs alarmingly. Themes of victimhood and exploitation resonate, invoking an unsettling reflection of humanity's own tactics. For every bee that finds a home in this leopard's flesh, there lies a metaphor about human relationships with nature. As the story unfolds, we can't ignore the dark twist of fate that strikes at the heart of our own existence. It is a stark reminder of how our actions reverberate through the tapestry of life. The trees felled for urban development, the pesticides that decimate bee populations, and the overall negligence towards biodiversity contribute to this realm of suffering. We live in a world where our expansion leads to unexpected consequences, echoing through the lives of creatures like this unfortunate leopard, caught in a tragic saga of their own making. And amidst the calamity and chaos, let's allow space for some dark humor. Perhaps the leopard now sees the irony of life, always prepared to hunt, but never anticipating being hunted down by a swarm of relentless bees. Who would have thought that being a top predator could lead to such a humbling experience? Life is indeed a bizarre comedy, woven intricately with tragedy, perhaps reminding us all to tread lightly on this fragile planet we share with our furry and winged counterparts. In the arid heart of Australia, a haunting tableau unfolds. A lone kangaroo, an embodiment of grace and strength, now bears the gruesome marks of an encounter few would survive unscathed. Torn flesh reveals the grim aftermath of a savage bee infestation, a sight so shocking it lingers long in the imagination. The once vibrant creature, now torn and stricken, hops with an awkwardness induced by excruciating pain. This awkwardness, however, serves as a grim reminder of a world that teeters between survival and devastation, where even the strongest can become prey to the whims of nature's most industrious creatures. With eyes wide and fearful, we delve deeper into this chilling reality. The wound, a grotesque gash in the kangaroo's side, is not merely an injury. It is a hive, a pulsating mess where countless bees have made their nest. Surgeon bees, agitated and angry, swarm to defend their home. Each buzz is a war cry, a stark reminder of the instincts that govern this conflict. Flesh is pierced. Hair is matted with remnants of honey and darkened with dried blood, a disturbing fusion of sweetness and suffering. Here, evolution has taken a sinister twist. The kangaroo, once the monarch of the outback, now wears its crown of thorns in the most literal sense. But how can such a creature, so large and powerful, fall victim to such a diminutive foe? Nature, in its relentless pursuit of balance, toys with the concept of scale. The bees, tiny yet ferocious, exploit a vulnerability in the very design of the kangaroo's anatomy. With their acute sense of smell, honed over millions of years, they find their way to wounds, drawn to the scent of protein-rich flesh and the warmth of blood. Combined with their instinct to protect their queen and hive, the kangaroo becomes an unknowing vessel for a swarm hungry to defend their territory. As we investigate this alarming phenomenon further, we uncover the biological intricacies. Bee venom, a cocktail of enzymes and proteins, attacks the nervous system, inducing excruciating pain and swelling. The sting, intended for defense, becomes a sword of suffering for the kangaroo. As the bees inject their venom, they release an alarm pheromone, summoning reinforcements with each desperate kick and buck from the beleaguered marsupial. This is a grotesque dance of survival, one party seeking to protect its home, the other struggling to simply exist. Yet, lurking beneath this harrowing struggle is a deeper moral tale, one that casts a shadow over the human-animal relationship. We often view ourselves as the apex of evolution, lords over the natural world. However, this scenario starkly illustrates how our actions inadvertently sow the seeds. In the heart of the African savanna, where the sun blazes down and the air shimmers with heat, a haunting sight emerges: a white lion, a rare and majestic creature, now marred by a grotesque affliction. This lion, once a symbol of beauty and strength, bears a horrific barnacle wound that tells a chilling tale of nature's darker side. As we draw closer, the stark contrast of its pale fur against the dark, crusty barnacles clinging to its flank is both shocking and captivating. These barnacles, typically found on the hulls of ships or the shells of marine creatures, have found an unlikely host in this regal beast, transforming it into a living canvas of suffering and survival. Barnacle infestation occurs when these small, hard-shelled crustaceans latch onto a surface, often in a bid to find a stable home. In the case of our white lion, the barnacles have burrowed into its skin, creating painful lesions that ooze and fester. Each barnacle, a tiny fortress of chitin, feeds on the lion's flesh. The lion's body, once a powerful machine of muscle and sinew, now struggles under the weight of this parasitic invasion. The sight is both repulsive and fascinating, a stark reminder of the relentless cycle of life and death in the wild. And as we delve deeper into the biology of these barnacles, we learn that they are not merely mindless parasites. They are complex organisms with their own life cycles and behaviors. They attach themselves using a powerful adhesive, often choosing unsuspecting hosts like our lion, who, in its weakened state, becomes a victim of circumstance. This infestation is not just a physical ailment. It is a metaphor for the broader struggles faced by wildlife in a world increasingly dominated by human activity. In a dark twist of fate, the very environment that nurtures these magnificent creatures is also the one that threatens their existence. Pollution, habitat destruction, and climate change create conditions that allow such infestations to thrive. As we reflect on this tragic scenario, we are left with a moral quandary. Are we, as humans, the true barnacles of the earth, clinging to our comforts while draining the life from the world around us? Perhaps, in our quest for progress, we have become the parasites, oblivious to the suffering we inflict on the very creature. In the icy realm of the Arctic, Where the stark white landscape meets the frigid blue waves, a polar bear lumbers through a desolate expanse. But this is not just any polar bear. It is a colossal creature bearing the weight of a gruesome secret. Beneath its thick white fur lies a sight that would make even the most stalwart heart shudder. A glaring wound, grotesquely adorned with barnacles, a living testament to nature's cruel intricacies. As we delve deeper into this chilling scene, one can't help but ask, how does a creature so powerful, so majestic, fall victim to such an insidious affliction? The encounter with barnacles begins innocently enough. These tiny crustaceans, typically found clinging to the hulls of ships or the rocks of coastal shores, are surprisingly adaptable. But when they find themselves nestled on the fur of a polar bear, they transform into something nightmarish. Each barnacle, a minuscule fortress, burrows into the flesh, creating a painful festering wound.